So your company's pretty new and you've just filed your first patent or two, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the patent all about? What's the purpose of the patent? What am I going to do with this patent? What am I going to do with my patent portfolio? Hi, my name is Carr Ferrell. I'm a patent attorney. Welcome back to my video channel. I like to think of patent portfolio building in 3 stages. There's the beginning stage, there's the defensive stage, and there's the policing stage. And so in this video, I want to talk about patent portfolios, what to do with your patent portfolio, and I want to talk about each of the stages in the life cycle of a portfolio building process. So the beginning stage is just about what you would expect. It's the beginning. You've filed your first patent application, you've got a product that you're working on, maybe the product isn't out yet, but you're beginning to think about your inventions, you're beginning to organize your inventions. As time goes on, you're going to begin to build a small, and it may be small, a smallish patent portfolio, but the key thing is that you want to have a plan. And during this beginning stage, the most important thing to keep in mind is that there needs to be a strategy for filing your patent applications. Every patent attorney has a different approach to strategizing. My personal strategy is built around the market. Why does the market want to buy our product? What experience do we give buyers when they pay us? What's exciting about what it is we're doing? These are the kinds of things that I want to protect with my clients' patents. But as I said, each strategy may be a little different, and your attorney may have a different strategy for you. But the key is that in the beginning stage, we have a plan of filing patents in a very methodical way. We know what we're trying to achieve with our patent portfolio in the beginning, and that is protect our inventions, protect our market, begin to protect the market space. The beginning stage may last for a couple of years. It may last for a year or 2 or 3. But during this period, you're executing on your plan. You're building your patent portfolio. So a year or so has passed since you filed your first patent application, and maybe you've been filing 2 or 3 patent applications a year. And so with my clients, I begin to think during this second year about defending my client against litigation. I call this the defensive stage. And this is a period of time where we want to think about making our company litigation proof with respect to competitors. And what litigation proof means is we don't want other companies to be able to sue us easily. And to make ourselves litigation proof is really quite easy. The first step in becoming litigation proof during this defensive stage is to identify key competitors in our market space. Now, the competitors are pretty easy to categorize. First of all, there's 3 types of lawsuits that you're going to face potentially by competitors. The first group of potential competitors are really not competitors at all, but these are patent owners, often companies that have purchased patents that want to enforce their patent rights. And the press sometimes refers to these as patent trolls. These are in fact individual patents that are looking for licensees. Now, we don't have to worry too much about these. They're a nuisance, they're a pain, but a patent troll is not going to kill your company. The second type of competitor that we're going to face in the marketplace is going to be a competitor like ourselves. It's going to be a smallish competitor who is trying to elbow in and keep the market clear of direct competition. We don't have to worry so much about these smaller competitors because litigation by smaller competitors, at least offensive litigation, is relatively rare, especially if you're a small company. Because when you're first starting out, you don't have the revenues yet to make a lawsuit really interesting. Unless you have significant sales from which to accrue damage revenue, it really often isn't worthwhile for smaller companies to come after you. The really big threat when you're a smaller company is litigation by a large competitor, because they're going to be already in stage 3, which I'll talk about in a minute, and that's policing the market space. They're going to want to keep the market space clear of newcomer competitors, companies just entering in the market, trying to create new products or knock off products that a large competitor is already selling. These are your biggest threats. They have the resources to sue, they have the resources to sustain a lawsuit, and they also have market presence in the sense that they're selling products in large quantity, not only to finance their litigation, but also to make it even more difficult for you to market and compete. So these larger competitors are the most significant threat that you'll have with respect to early stage litigation. So this is actually a relatively easy problem to defend against if we plan for it ahead of time. Now, the interesting thing about being sued by a larger company is that there's an asymmetry with respect to that litigation. Typically, when you're in the defensive stage, your sales are relatively small. You may have just introduced your product. The larger company has the resources to sue and probably has large amounts of sales. Now, this can work to your advantage as a small company if you've prepared for it, as I've said. What we want to do in the defensive stage is we want to identify the key large competitors in our space. And as we're filing patent applications during the beginning stage and the early defensive stage, we want to think about patent claims that are infringed by these larger companies. That is, we want to take a look at the larger companies' products and hypothetically think about what would those products look like if they included our features. How can we begin to wrap our patent applications and our eventual patent claims around our larger competitors' products? Where are they going in the marketplace? And how can we wrap our products around their future product roadmap? So this is the defensive stage, and it's strategically it's a super interesting process, but it can be very, very powerful. Because you see, one of the disadvantages of being a large company with large sales is that you have a lot to lose. So if a large company were to sue you as a startup, your sales may be de minimis. And if they were to sue and if they were to win, they may get nothing really in terms of damages. However, if you have patents that the larger company is infringing, then, and this is where the asymmetry comes in, they have large quantities of sales, large amounts of sales at stake. And so damages for them would be asymmetrically larger. And the result is that once these larger companies find out that you have patents, inevitably they'll drop or settle any lawsuits that they bring against you. So in this way, you become litigation proof during this defensive stage. So one word of caution about the defensive stage. You're going to start getting patents probably in the second or third year after you begin filing your patent applications, and you're going to be really proud of the patents that you receive. And it's very easy for you or those in your company to begin looking around at potential infringers. It reminds me of the young kid who goes to his first karate lesson and comes out with a couple of interesting moves and this new sense of confidence and power and goes around and starts looking to pick a fight. One of the things that we don't want to do as a young company, especially with a smallish patent portfolio of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 issued patents, is to go looking for a fight at this stage. Because if you look for a fight, you'll find a fight. And patent litigation is extremely distracting to a small company. It's not only is it costly, it's time consuming, and it's distracting in terms of management resources. Generally speaking, as a small company, you don't have the layers of management that it takes to really prosecute a patent litigation. We don't want our CTO spending his time or her time in court or in depositions prosecuting a lawsuit. Think of your patent portfolio at this stage as market tools and not litigation tools. There'll be time enough for you to enforce your patents later if you decide you want to. But as a young, early stage company, spend your time, spend your money, focus your resources on building your market and building your product. Now, the third stage in the patent life cycle of a company, I call the policing stage. And this is a period, and often it begins around 5 years from the filing of your first patent application. Around this time, if you've been filing 2 or 3 or 4 patent applications each year, your patent portfolio is beginning to gather some bulk, especially if you have a strategy going in. It's becoming a fairly powerful patent portfolio, and it's powerful in the sense that it protects your product and it's beginning to dominate and monopolize your market space. At this point, if you decide you want to, it's possible to begin policing your market space with your portfolio. And what I mean by this is that you begin to watch the market space for newcomers who are knocking off your products. These are competitors who are stealing your features, who are stealing your market, who are taking your customers and essentially knocking off your patents, knocking off your products. Now please understand, I'm distinguishing product copiers from mere patent infringers. These are two separate categories. And I believe it can be worth the money, time, and resources to police the market from product copiers. We don't want people stealing our profit margins. We don't want people taking our customers. However, I generally don't think it's a good use of litigation resources to sue people who are merely practicing your patent but not stealing your customers or infringing on your products. So this is a distinction. If you have a broad patent portfolio, it's very likely that there will be infringers in the marketplace of your patents. Keep in mind that patent enforcement is not really your business. Your business is making products and delivering services. Avoid wasting your time on suing infringers who are not competing. Okay, that's really all I have to say today about the 3 stages of the patent life cycle. Leave comments below if you have something to say. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.